And at this time, the chair would like to call the August 22nd meeting of 2024, the regular meeting of the City of Lawrence Board of Public Works and Safety to order. The first item on our agenda, and first of all, let me mention the chair does recognize a quorum this evening, so thank you. And the first item on our agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes from August 8th, 2024. Is there any discussion or a motion?
I move approval of the minutes as submitted.
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion or amendments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. The minutes are approved from August 8th, 2024. Next item is unfinished business, and there is none, so that moves us on to new business. And the first item is item A, certifying the Lawrence Police Department 2024 Session 1 hiring process eligibility list. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Identify yourself for the record.
My name is Lieutenant Scott Evans.
Thank you, Lieutenant.
So we're here to request certifying the Lawrence Police Department 2024 Session 1 hiring process eligibility list. There'll be 6 applicants or candidates on that list.
Thank you, sir. Is there any discussion, any questions?
I think I've asked this question before. We get it anonymously without the names
Correct.
for confidentiality reasons?
Yes.
Okay. But they have all qualified?
Yes.
Okay.
There's still a few processes left. They still have to go to public safety medical. We send them the conditional offer, then we send them public safety medical, and then the pension board.
Okay.
But we have to certify the list before we can actually send them to public safety medical.
Okay. And is there a polygraph test?
So they do a digital voice stress analysis test through us, and then public safety medical sends them through another psychological evaluation and a physical evaluation.
Thank you. Sorry to ask.
Oh, that's okay. I want everybody to know what we're doing.
Transparency. Any further questions or comments?
I have none. And are you ready to entertain a motion?
I am.
Okay. I move approval of the names submitted for the Lawrence Police Department.
Thank you for the motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Lieutenant, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
The next item is item B, which is the approval of master service agreement letter with Baker Tilly Advisory Group, LP. And I believe we do have somebody from Baker Tilly in the audience this evening, sir, if you would want to come forward and identify yourself.
Good evening. My name is Andre Riley. I am a principal with Baker Tilly and happy to entertain any questions regarding the MSA. And I think the next thing on the agenda is the scope appendix.
Right. Thank you for being here. Are there any questions?
Just for transparency's sake, I know our corporation counsel is also in the audience. This has been looked over, reviewed, and approved by your legal department as well, correct?
Correct.
Thank you.
Any further questions, comments?
I have no questions. I move approval of the engagement letter as submitted.
Thank you.
I will second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. The next item is, as alluded to, is item C, which is the approval of the scope appendix to the agreement letter with Baker Tilly Advisory Group, LP. Thank you, sir.
Happy to answer any questions regarding the scope appendix as well.
Are there any questions or comments?
Not really. This was just an addition, expanding the scope of the services that Baker Tilly would provide to the city, correct?
That's correct. So back in April, or just a little bit of a story lesson. So in April, we executed a MSA and an agreement to get started on accounting support and other support that the controller's office needed. We have reached the end of that agreement, and then as we met with the administration, we talked about, kind of redefining the scope to allow for other things on a monthly contract, so that way you could buy hours and then could kind of troll what services are underneath that. So this is kind of phase 2 of that to continue moving forward with the service we provide the city.
Perfect, sir.
Thank you. No more questions for
Any
me.
other questions, comments?
Okay.
Chair will entertain a motion.
I move approval of the appendix for the scope to the agreement letter with Baker Tilly.
I'll second.
Been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Next item is item D, which is the approval of change order number 2 for Midwest Paving, CCMG 2023-1. And I understand that Mr. Wilburn is joined us.
Yeah, Chris,
Item-
did you want to take that, or did you want me to?
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I will give a little bit contextual background, President Chair.
Yes, sir.
Prior to my arrival as a DPW director, we entered into agreement with Midwest Paving for a portion of a completion, rather, of a project that had not gone before the board. Unfortunately, we entered into a contractual agreement, and that was a verbal agreement with Midwest Paving without having consulted this body. I don't think that is unfair for me to disclose that information. This is what happens, and this is what is before you. Because I'm remote, and I do apologize for being remote, I wanted to make sure that I articulated that and sort of primed the questions that you may have as it arises to these particular purchase orders before you. Renee, if you could fill the body in with the specific details of where we are as it relates to where Midwest began those conversations and where Sri, my predecessor, entered into those verbal agreements and then written agreements via email.
Yes, sir. So
Please.
we received, yeah, no problem. We received change order number 2 back on October the 11th of 2023. And then shortly thereafter, on October 27th, 2023, we received change order number 3. Instead of bringing it before this board, our previous city engineer, director of public works, did a verbal confirmation to continue via email. And we are processing the final invoices, and there wasn't enough money. And so we went digging and found these 2 change orders that had never been approved by the Board of Public Works. I can't request a purchase order without them. The project is done. We have until the end of the month to file our final paperwork. So we needed to get this approved by you. That's why the amended agenda. And that's why this is before you tonight. I did send a copy of the email with the 2
Yes.
change orders to show you that this was done by the previous administration, a verbal or a written go-ahead. So we are, I believe, contractually bound to approve it and go through this process so that we can
If you-
close out this grant
Yes.
from NDOT and apply for more.
Absolutely.
If you'll allow me to speak, may I speak?
Please, sir. Yes, Mr. Wilburn.
Thank you. Thank you, President. And thank you, Renee, for articulating that. This is, of course, uncharacteristic of the DPW. As a result of this occurring, we have done some internal processes. We've begun the process, rather, of creating a balance check. So those decisions cannot be made unilaterally. And that's from my position. There will have to be checks and balances because this is such an egregious error on the part of the Department of Public Works, and we take full responsibility. I would like, and I don't know how this is possible, for the body to some way articulate that and codify that in your challenging or the questions that you pose to us in some way to reflect that this administration was not solely responsible for this decision. It was made unilaterally from a previous director of public works.
I appreciate that, Mr. Wilburn, very much, and your point is well taken. I guess from the chair's purview, and I welcome comments from the other board members, that I think your comments and our comments could be, will certainly at a minimum, be reflected in the minutes.
Yes, sir.
And I think that may suffice to address your very valid concern about the transparency.
Yeah, this administration so far has been very vocal about transparency. And so, again, we're just trying to be transparent. This is something we found. We want to make sure it's on record and it goes through the appropriate process.
Precisely.
Could you give me the dollar amount of
Yes, ma'am.
change orders for 2 and 3?
So change order number 2, the original, let's just do the whole thing. The original contract was for $1,735,317.88. The change order number 1 was for $256,024. Change order number 2 is for $89,574.54. Change order number 3 is for $15,408, bringing the project total to $2,096,324.42.
And was the reason for the change orders, was it a change of scope or was it cost of material?
It was, as you can see on change order number 2, there are some credits and some additions. And what it was is we needed more materials on one street and less materials on another street than was anticipated. And so this is like the end of the wash where it's all balancing out.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments?
If not, I would entertain, or excuse me, not entertain, I would, I would move, please, to bundle items D and E for approval.
Consent,
Agreed. You're seconding, Barbara?
or we could take
Yeah.
it by consent.
Yes. And also, just to reflect for the record, the gentleman, for the public benefit, the gentleman who was talking virtual was Mr. Chris Wilburn, who is the current Public Works Director of this
Correct.
administration. So everybody knows who is advising us on that.
Thank you, Mr. President.
I'm sorry, sir?
Thank you, Mr. President. I apologize for not articulating that earlier.
You did. I just wanted to
did.
make sure that anybody watching, the public was understanding and reflecting the minutes accordingly, which I know that will. I think we can take these together, and the chair would entertain a motion accordingly of approval or not of both D and E, of the change orders 2 and 3.
Mr. President, I move approval of change order number 2 and change order number 3 for Midwest Paving.
Second?
Second? Moved and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chris, thanks very much. Stay with us if you want. We're almost concluded, I think. The next item is comments from the administration. And Mr. Chief of Staff or Madam City Attorney, if you have any comments?
Not today. We don't have any either. Thank you.
All right. Any citizen comments? I don't know if anybody's here, nobody's here in the audience, citizen-wise, but if anybody is online.
Let me check real quick.
Dylan's getting thirsty. That was his comment.
That's quite all right. Hey,
No, sir, we're good.
Did ask for comments.
me too.
And he is a citizen.
That's true,
He's
yeah.
a citizen.
He's a resident of Lawrence.
One of our youngest citizens. We want to hear from them also, of course. Okay.
I love it.
Any further comments? Being none, the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move adjournment.
I second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you very much.
We had a lengthy meeting tonight.